Hello, and welcome to your daily oracle reading for Monday, October 5th, 2020. I'm Linda the Lightworker. I'm a shamanic practitioner, and I make these daily videos so we can all stay on our purpose-driven path, living one day at a time, doing our best to say nice things to ourselves, do our own personal inner work, eat great food or as best food as we can afford, and drinking a lot of water, getting rest, really doing our work so that we can be of more service to others as needed. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. All the info about me and the decks I use is down below in that dibbly-doo box. LindaTheLightWorker.com is my website, or you can email me directly, LindaTheLightWorker@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. All right, my dears, today we're working with the Gregory Scott Tarot. You know how much I love him and his decks. I'm a huge supporter of him. You know, he has a class on there that is like $20 US. And it's, if you're interested in learning how to read tarot, I highly recommend that you check out that class because it's really easy to use, it's affordable, and you have a 30-day access to it. And anyway, I'm sure people are saying, why is she promoting that? Why isn't she teaching? Well, I'm just not ready to, but maybe I will do a tarot workshop. Who knows? All right, let's jump into our cards. The first card we have is this Page of Cups. And here he is, this adolescent young man yearning for love. He's deeply, madly in love, offering his cup, carrying the rose. This is romantic love, but it might be fading as those petals are dropping away from that flower he's holding there. This is an emotional yearning, a need for love. And let me just recognize we all have a need to be loved. Either whatever kind of love. This is romantic love, but it can be, well, this is about romance. Everybody has a need to be loved and love to be loved. You know, when we're in love or when we're in that feeling of love or being in love, the whole world changes. The way the stars feel like they're aligned differently and things work out. Like there's a euphoria that comes with being in love. And since this is an adolescent mode, so this could be a sensation of feeling a first love. Or this is your wishing that you could get back to that feeling of how you felt in love. So those of you who are in partnership, embrace that energy, fall in love with your partner again with that kind of romance that only who knows what's in that cup. You know, it could be a little kombucha or it could be a glass of wine. Who knows? Only your lover knows what you need to drink. So embrace that feeling. I know every time I mention love, there are a handful of you, I can feel the energy as soon as I say it out of my mouth. There's like an anger that comes up. You don't want that to be about love, or maybe you don't like this traditional looking male for that. It's an invitation to go deeper into that wound. If you're feeling that anger, to heal and soothe that old love wound so that your heart is recovered enough so that you're ready to fall in love when it presents itself to you. Because look what our next card is. It's the Lovers. So this reading is definitely about love today. And the clarifier I got is this woman. Look at how joyful. This is the Ace of Wands. She's full of energy. This is euphoric love. Now, I have mentioned this many times. Even though these are traditional, it doesn't mean you need to be attracted to one or the other. It's love how you identify with your love. And when we have this Lovers card come up, this is about you. If you're not in a relationship now, you can celebrate. Remember the good parts of that love that you really loved about an old partner that you had, or maybe one of your childhood loves. It brought out that energy. It's okay to really be in that, I call it a pleasure loop of reminiscing if this is not a current situation. But if you're in partnership, this is about strengthening your bond. All the angelic beings are here to help you. Those of you who are seeking love, Spirit saying we're working behind the scenes. Please have patience with us as things are moving closer and closer together. I know some of you are just not willing or not able or not ready for love, but get ready to get ready. I know I've been saying that a lot. I know I take a break and I say the same thing, but that's what Spirit's really wanting you to hear. today is that angelic forces are working for you behind the scenes. Everything's on a need to know basis. And if you're in a relationship, fall in love with your partner more deeply today. Do the eye gazing, hold hands, those tenderness, that gentleness that we can be with each other is a beautiful way to cultivate and deepen the love that we have for our partners. Okay, and our third and final tarot card today is the Page of Swords. Now, I love that we got two pages. We got the Page of Cups, which is that emotional sort of adolescent love. And here we have this guy who's trying to figure out the chemistry of love. Maybe he can't figure out how he falls in love. Maybe there's something about you that's undefinable and they just don't even know, but they're trying to figure out, where does all that chemistry come from? It's using the mind in an intellectual way, maybe perhaps to negotiate or to figure out, Spirit's just showing me all these funny pictures of like trying to intellectualize an emotional state is a little unheard of. It seems impossible, Spirit says. Spirit says it's all chemistry. Listen, when you're attracted to someone, you have no idea why. I think of, what was that show? Sex and the City, right? Charlotte was the preppy one, and she ended up converting to Judaism, marrying a little Jew, like falling madly in love with this whole person who she would have never picked out before, but the chemistry was right. So this is about you doing your own work, staying in your own process, knowing what turns you on. Well, look at this guy's having a great time mixing these elements together. He is having great curiosity. He's enjoying. Now, listen, I don't know if he's working with uranium there. He might end up with some terrible outcomes, or an explosion might happen, but that's part of the fun of figuring out this chemistry of what makes you tick. Also, for those of you who are struggling with knowing where or what you need in love, this is the invitation to take the other message here, is to have the intellectual curiosity to discover what turns you on. What is it that you need? There's a great book out there, and I'm sure I've mentioned it before. It's The 5 Love Languages, and it really does identify as some people feel love when they're receiving gifts. I saw a video on this woman with her jewelry collection, and inside I was like, oh, this is kind of repulsive. And then that was a message from Spirit saying, well, that's not your love language, but that's her love language. That's how she felt love. Some is by acts of kindness, or some are by words, like understanding where and how you feel loved. I know for me, it's an intellectual connection. Like there's got to be that kind of, we've got to be able to have a dialogue that's longer than 10 minutes. Otherwise, I'm not going to get turned on. It just doesn't happen. Like everything happens in my head. And there's a word for that. I'm sure somebody will put it down there in the comments. But knowing, understanding what turns you on, where your goodness is, how you get activated is important. So it is about self-discovery, understanding more about yourself, and then you can figure out what happens with your partner, or you can work on that together to deepen your relationship. All right, our final card today is from the Denise Linn Sacred Travelers deck. Info down below, and we have the Traveling Lightly. It says, simplify your life. I've been saying this all year. Purge. Get rid of what no longer serves you. Look, he left that whole basket behind, and now he's carrying just this one little over-the-shoulder pack. And this, in relationship to our reading today, is an invitation for you to let go of that old emotional baggage that's held you back in love. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like, let's acknowledge that, you know what, some of those lessons I learned from that person really helped me to pick abusive people, right? And you don't need that anymore. You can lay that basket down as you move forward. You can let go of those things that no longer serve you, especially when you are on an emotional journey and trying to find your way to help you feel better every day. by letting go of what no longer serves you, simplifying your life and walking away. Do your work and walk away from it. Like, you've done your part, and now it's time to grow, expand, allow yourself to keep moving forward. That's the invitation. Sometimes it seems kind of tricky to be able to do that, but you know, it might have been behaviors that you picked up as a response to how somebody else would speak, or an energy that you were around. Let all that stuff go and walk strongly, proudly forward. I love all these colors today. These autumn colors with this purple. That purple is very healing. So just embracing that purple, beautiful, healing light and breathing it in, and walk away from your past. You are a new person today, and letting go from what doesn't serve us anymore to stepping into who we are is our greatest challenge. But you know what? I know you can do it. You can. You've been through so many bad days, and look at here we are today. It's today already. All right, kitten, that's our reading for today. Sounds like a good day. Auspicious with all this love in the air. So be careful. Use protection if you don't want any unwanted babies. Be good to yourself, and be sure and love with your heart open, and receive your love from God first, Spirit, the universe, however you identify. Remember your process, that you are God's favorite child first. All right, my dear, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.